Citizens of YouTube, hello! Last week we saw an exciting end to both Portal 2 and Season 1 of Black Mesa. We also learned a little more about Alan Wake's shadow-murdering, wife-saving plan, and we failed miserably in Haunt. So let's get going! This is Last Week on Gustavostopher Games. If you just let this video go, it'll begin automatically with Black Mesa. But if you have a specific game that you want to learn about this week, just click any of these buttons surrounding my face and it'll take you directly to that part. I'll give you about 10 seconds to decide what you want to do. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, I'm counting a little fast. 4, 3, 2, 1, let's start with Black Mesa. Last week begins in Coolant Chamber 2, where I'm hiding from a bunch of Vortigaunt that appeared in the last episode. I get murdered once by an unseen assailant.
Where are you? Yep, definitely dead. Son of a bitch!
And then kill everyone.
Okay, you son of a bitch. You sons of bitches! Yeah, get eaten, get eaten. Okay, I'm dead. Am I alive? I appear to be alive.
Proceeding down into the coolant tank, I get murdered by another Vortigaunt when I try to reload my weapon at the worst possible time.
Bad time to reload, damn it!
After hitting a switch inside of the coolant tank, I make my way back to the top, killing one more Vortigaunt that brings me down to 3 health. After some confusion as to what I'm supposed to do next,
but now what do?
I find a switch that fills the empty coolant tank with coolant. I then proceed to Coolant Pump 2, where I witness some awesome Vortigaunt dance. I kill them immediately after. Then I make my way back towards a room where a scientist was observing an auxiliary access pipe and getting murdered by Frogog dogs along the way.
Okay, cover me! What the hell? They were right behind you!
Then a Vortigaunt shows up and I kill him and a good guy and feel no regret.
You were worthless anyway.
Making my way back to the scientist, he tells me to go to the auxiliary access pipe. I make my way there and a bunch of guys show up and I get knocked down to 1 health and kill myself 2 times.
Ah, son of a bitch, I killed myself! Ah, damn it, I did it again!
End of episode. In the start of the next episode, I get murdered by the guys who showed up at the end of the last episode. I take them out one at a time, quick saving after everyone and very often doing an unnecessary battle cry. Eventually all of these guys are dead and I make my way into the access pipe without getting any more health. Therefore, I drown in the pipe 3 times and decide to hunt for health again. I find some and finally make my way through, and on the other end of the access pipe is a giant round thingy that appears to be a generator of some sort. I make my way to the top, killing Vortigaunt along the way, and eventually make it to a switch that I flip, and all hell starts to break loose. End of episode. In the next episode, I try and fail multiple times to get through the giant red electricity spouting generator thingy. I eventually get to the top and make my way to a room with a security guard who tells me that it's a zoo up ahead. Not understanding his figurative speech, I get excited, thinking that there's a zoo up ahead with cuddly animals. I take the security guard with me and we fight a bunch of guys that show up. He dies almost instantly and I'm left to fight them alone, but I prevail. I eventually come to a room with a glowing orb thingy and I can't understand what it is. I leave the room and come to another room with a second giant generator looking thingy, around which are more of those glowing orbs. I discover they are portals and that I have to use them to get to the top of the generator. End of episode. In the next episode, after dying way too many times trying to get to the top and picking incorrect portals multiple times, I end up at the top of the generator. End of episode. In the next episode, I come to a room with a bunch of scientists and a security guard. I yell at the security guard and get really up close and personal with him.
I will hit you to death. I don't like your attitude. No, look at me when I'm talking to you.
And then he takes me to a stock room.
Oh, another freaking stash of guns.
I then get a thingy from a scientist called the long jump module, which allows me to jump really longly. Then I make my way into the Lambda reactor core. In the room with the core, one of the scientists starts the machine up and tells me I'll have to wait a bit for a portal to another planet called Zen where all the aliens are coming from to open. Then a bunch of aliens show up while I'm waiting and murder me a bunch.
Son of a bitch, I'm dead! Fuck you, no! God damn it!
The portal is eventually ready, so I do my battle cry and run into it. The game ends right there on a cliffhanger.
What? No!
And that was last week in Black Mesa. Let's move on to Alan Wake. Last week starts in a transformer yard at a power plant. I get attacked by shadows that I kill very easily by knocking them into electric lines that are very haphazardly strung about the yard. A shadow I run into knocks me into an electric line and I survive somehow. I eventually make my way through after some more shadow murder and find a lift leading to a chair and beer on top of a shed. I lip sync creepily over the reading of a page I find.
The cabin had come true. Touched by the dark presence, I had written a horror story, but the end was still missing.
I then make my way to a revolving bridge that needs to get activated. Upon reaching the control room, I almost shit myself as a shadow jumps out of the room.
Not get murdered by God, you son of a bitch!
I turn on the bridge controls and the bridge starts spinning. I jump on and get attacked by birds, and in confusion I run back and forth across the bridge several times. Eventually I get to the other side where a police officer, Sarah, and my publisher, Barry, show up in a helicopter to help me get to the power plant I'm trying to reach by doing absolutely nothing at all. I fight a bunch of shadows that show up all by myself and the helicopter leaves again.
More of them. Okay. Sounds good.
I make it to the power plant, fighting more shadows along the way and prevailing. End of episode. In the next episode, I meet Cynthia Weaver, an old lady who's been fighting the shadows for way too long and is a little loopy. She informs me of a weapon to fight the shadows located in what she calls the well-lit room. The way to the room is through a pipe in the plant, but a blown transformer outside means the pipe is dark, and Cynthia's scared of the dark. So I go outside, fight a bunch of shadows, solve a puzzle in the game like it's no big deal, and cut the power to the transformer yard. After fighting more shadows with absolutely no ammo...
Okay, just let me through. Good Lord, Cynthia. Let me through! Let me through! Let me through! Oh my God!
I get back inside the power plant and we begin our journey through the pipe.
This pipe will take us directly to the well-lit room.
On the way to the well-lit room, Barry calls from the helicopter, which crashes while we're on the phone. I take a detour and go to rescue Barry and the police officer, who are being approached by a buttload of shadows. End of episode. In the next episode, tons of shadow murder occurs right away.
I'll kill all you. I'll murder all of you with your own faces.
We make our way towards the well-lit room, being confronted by tons more shadows along the way, and Sarah and Barry are absolutely no help at all.
Everyone has lights, everyone has guns. Why am I the only person here who's not completely helpless? Everyone just shoot them and shine light at them. It's not that difficult.
We reach the well-lit room and Sarah and Barry go first. The door closes behind them and I have to fight a bunch of big, shadowy, possessed objects.
Y'all's a bunch of motherfuckers!
I then have to find another route to the well-lit room. I end up taking a route that leads to the top of a dam, where the darkness throws a bunch of large objects at me and kills me multiple times.
God damn it, no!
How was I supposed to have done that?
Oh, son of a bitch, I fell again.
Eventually I make it to an elevator leading from the dam down into the well-lit room. End of episode. In the well-lit room, we discover a page written by another writer that used to fight shadows named Thomas Zane. The page tells the story of a clicker thingy Alan Wake had as a kid, and we're informed that we have to take the clicker, which has been written into existence by Zane as a shadow murdering tool, and use it at Cauldron Lake to defeat the source of all the evil. Flash backwards 2 years for some reason, and Alan Wake is hungover and watches a talk show appearance he had earlier made. His wife Alice, that we're trying to save, comes in and a bunch of adorable, touchy-feely stuff happens.
Just you and me, so peace and quiet.
Aww. Flashback to the present and Alan leaves the dam. It's daylight now and he makes his way towards Cauldron Lake. All of a sudden it gets dark and a bunch of shadows show up. I kill them all. And that was last week on Alan Wake. Let's move on to Portal 2. This week in Portal 2 began with a test involving a gravity lift, orange gel, switches, and a box, all of which I was confused as to how to use. The first step was to get the box, and I spent way too long doing the wrong things.
Better shoot a blue portal, freaking right there, then I'll fail.
Oh, I got the box.
Switch, box, exactly
Why do I not think these things through? Eventually I figure out that the orange gel has to be spread using the gravity lift, so I do that through clever placement of the box. The box has legs though and won't stay on the switches, so I yell at it. Stay on the switch! You stupid box! Stay on the switch! Completing the test, we learn that Wheatley has a deadly surprise for us. In the next chamber, we use a gravity lift to murder a bunch of turrets with blue gel, and it's awesome. Yeah! Murder turrets! Then with some crazy physics stuff, we fly across the room to the exit and make our way to the next chamber. The next chamber looks normal enough with a springboard and a flying box and stuff, but it turns out to be a trap leading us directly to a platform surrounded by a bunch of spiky things. Yay! Through clever white gel use, I escape and continue to avoid Wheatley's attempts to murder me. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh, there's something I gotta do. Eventually coming to an area that's unseeable by the evil Wheatley, and so I'm temporarily safe. After a bunch of confusion about what to do next, I murder some more turrets with blue gel. Then I get confused some more. Is that where I came from? How do I get in there? End of episode! The final episode of the series begins with exploding a white gel tube, dirty, with bombs. I make my way to a room with conveyor belts and Wheatley finds me again, once again trying to murder me. Through awesome use of orange gel, I make my way past the murder conveyor belts and make my way to the next room, where, with orange gel, I throw myself through the air into a gravity lift. Eventually, I end up in an access shaft, or something, that leads to a back room. There we see a bunch of corrupted cores, which GLaDOS says we can use to defeat Wheatley.
I'll send you a core, and then you attach it to him.
Awesome.
Do it a few times, he might become corrupt enough for another core transfer.
That sounds like a plan. Then it's onto an elevator and into the final room of the game. I pretty much conquer Wheatley with bombs, white gel, blue gel, orange gel, and corrupted cores. Pretty much every type of puzzle in the game is featured in the ending battle. He kills me once I get cornered somehow, but I come back and I kick his ass. Due to placing a bunch of corrupted cores on Wheatley's body, a primary core replacement procedure begins. But because of Wheatley resisting, a stalemate is detected, meaning I have to go push a button. The button, though, is a trap that's rigged with explosives, and I get blown up. Since the stalemate can't be resolved, I destroy Wheatley in the most epic way I possibly can. Portal on the moon! It all comes together! And I'm dead. GLaDOS replaces Wheatley and everything is okay. In the outro, GLaDOS appears to have turned good, but then turns evil again really quickly. She decides not to kill me and instead releases me from the facility via an elevator. On the ride up, an awesomely epic song is played by a bunch of turrets. I dance stupidly. Chell then exits the facility and a box is spat out from the door behind her. And that was last week on Portal 2. So we only have one game left, and that game is Haunt. So what are we waiting for? Let's move on to Haunt. Haunt last week saw only one episode, and it was an episode wrought with failure. It starts in the house, where I'm trapped by Slender. He goes away eventually for some reason, so I leave and begin to run around aimlessly, just attempting to survive. I asked you guys to buy me a kitty for stress relief. Someone buy me a kitty. Gonna pet the kitty. Gonna feed it. It's gonna relieve me of the stress from playing this game. Realizing I missed a page at the lookout, I look around for it, repetitively getting lost. Where am I? What's going on? Ah, I'm back at the beginning. Wonderful. Eventually I find the lookout, but I have a hard time climbing the spiral stairs. Making it to the top without finding a page, I climb back down, thinking maybe I'll find a page on the way down. I don't. He captures me, and it pisses me off. Son of a bitch! Starting from my last save back at the house, I offer him sacrifices if he'll let me live. I can make friends with other people,
and then I could bring them here, and then you could eat them. It's a sacrifice thing. As long as you let me live.
He doesn't accept these terms and continues trying to murder me. After a round of complete failure, I start the game over on Noob. I find the house, get the lookout key, and find the lookout extremely easily. Then I apologize for switching to Noob, and the episode ends. And that was Last Week in Haunt. So that concludes this episode of Last Week on Gustavostopher Games. Join me this week where I'll be introducing new games, possibly beating Alan Wake, and getting murdered a bunch by various incarnations of Slender. Post a comment to cast a vote for what game I should play next to replace both Portal 2 and Black Mesa. And don't forget to like and favorite the video if you enjoyed it. And as always, subscribe to become a citizen of Epic Silliness today and stay up to date on all the latest things Gustavostopher Games. And with that, I'll see you guys next Monday on Last Week on Gustavostopher Games. Later! Ouch! Where am I? Where? God damn it! Stop it! Oh, he killed me! What? No! Dude! We just talked. I will hit you over the face. Don't.
But you've come this far.
Don't roll your eyes. I'm not gonna freaking run all the way to Cauldron Lake. That's ridiculous. Why didn't it just start me out? Why can't it talk right?